a conversation can clear up so many different things.
Absolutely.
And when we are ready to be vulnerable, open, transparent with what it is I'm thinking in my head or what it is I'm feeling, when you bring that to the table with your partner, all they have is an answer for you. And if you're looking for a resolve, then a conversation is the remedy. If the resolve is not what's on the forefront of your mind, and you've already kind of made up what you want the end to look like without the input of the other person, there is going to be some underlying issues.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Romance in Real Estate, where we
help you level up in life, love,
and money.
Let's go. All right, so we was having some prior discussions about different things, but we gonna get into that because what we really want to talk about and is not having a ceiling. And so as I've told y'all, me and my guy Will have ALF experts coming. ALF experts. So that's assisted living facility experts.com. So that's where basically we help individuals just like you get into home care and assisted living, basically to 10x your income. If you're an investor and you're looking for greater cash flow, you can make more cash flow by having an assisted living component to it. And if you're in healthcare as a nurse, RN, not RN, but LPN or anything like that, and you just don't see yourself being able to climb up the corporate ladder and you want to remove that ceiling off your salary, I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to try to dip into. Why? Because two, it's recession proof. One is recession proof. Two, you don't have a cap on your income, as you could keep taking patients in. You know what I mean? You're getting paid by Medicaid. Therefore, you don't have to worry about somebody not making their payments. As long as you're booking your hours and following the leadership and mentorship that we have, you're going to get paid. Also, what people don't know about the industry is that there's 10,000 people that turn 70 every day.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's a staggering number.
And the baby boomers are now just entering like 60 to 65. Therefore, that's going to continue to grow and quadruple. Right now, there's a shortage of over 500,000 aides across the country.
A shortage?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
There's a shortage of 100,000 nurses in this field as well.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Therefore, if you're a nurse, that's an immediate opportunity that you should take to enhance your income and remove that ceiling that you have, at the hospital down the street. And I don't knock anybody that works, so I apologize. I don't shame anybody for, having a 9 to 5 or anything like that. Everybody's not made for entrepreneurship. But for those who have that bug and want to seek and or try other opportunities within their field.
Right.
Within their field.
Transferable skills.
Yeah, I think it's super dope. But the main thing though is removing that ceiling and really tapping into your max potential.
But you know what, Eric, let me slow you down. Because you've been doing this for years. And so sometimes when you're talking about things, the average listener may not be with you. So if we liken this to McDonald's, right? Wasn't it that they made so much money, they broke the bank because not only did they earn from the product that they were selling, but the land. Every restaurant owned the land.
Hey, that's a good one.
Right?
Okay.
So what you don't realize is so many of the restaurants that were out here, when they were showing their income, McDonald's kept blowing it out the water, but it was because they had invested in the real estate. So they became one of the top real estate owners in the country, not just dominating in the food industry, right? So if I'm understanding correctly, aren't y'all about to be able to empower people to do the same thing?
100%.
Damn.
100%, because Will's going to get you licensed in home care and assisted living. And I will teach you how to acquire the rental properties. So with that aspect, you're going to have the active cash flow, like McDonald's with the burgers. And you're going to have your clients. And then you're going to have the real estate that's going to give you the cash flow, the appreciation, the equity, and the tax benefits.
So let's keep breaking it down. I want to keep breaking it down.
So
shout out to Kayla, because she's always like, I love how you break things down. So let's slow it down again, though. So you telling me, because you said recession proof, and I see a lot of people saying recession proof, but so let's bars, right? So on the assisted living side, you're saying, okay, I'm going to rent spaces, rooms, whatever, apartments to individuals who, because I'm looking at the market indicators, who are aging. So I know there's a need. Dementia, unfortunately, is becoming more and more common. And I'm going to provide a space where they can have this care. That's what you're saying. And the government's going to give me some money for this?
But let me elaborate even more.
Keep going.
You don't even have to own the property. So for those who fear real estate, what if you could go get a rental property, a 4-bedroom unit?
Yes.
And then you could lease out rooms. They could share the common area.
Yeah.
And how we said the government pays you, Medicaid pays you.
Okay.
Therefore, if they have, let's say, for instance, let's do some math. If everybody had 35 hours, and you're getting $28 per hour, you're going to make upwards of like $20,000 in revenue for that home.
My goodness.
But no, you do have to pay for the services and everything.
Yeah.
But you can make on average about $3,000 to $4,000 per home. Therefore, that is like 5 to 10 times what you would make in a regular rental property.
Correct. Because you got 4. It's almost like having 4 doors. You do have 4 doors. It's one property. It's a rental property.
Come on now.
So you didn't. Come on, Jesus. So when you purchase a home, unless you're a first-time home buyer and have some amazing deal, you're usually putting 5% down.
Correct.
At least, right? So you're saying that there's really very little barrier to entry with this opportunity, because I could just go apply for a rental property.
Yep.
Now we do have to make sure that we get permission to be able to sublease it.
Correct.
If you want more information, go ahead and come to Death Row, baby.
Oh my goodness! But I love this.
Yes.
And then if you do have the appetite for ownership, then you can do the McDonald's play, or excuse me, the ALF play, and then you own the property, and now you can show that you have equity in this property over time, unless you get like a short sale and it comes with equity. And then you can go get a HELOC from the bank and then get another one.
Yes.
And then just keep.
Yes. It's a domino effect.
Jesus.
That's a lot though. So make sure to tap into the next episode. I'm going to actually break down what it looks like. But for right now, just know.
No ceilings.
Coming into it, no ceilings, because you got the active cash flow. You got the passive income. And if you own the property, you're going to get the cash flow, tax deductions, equity, and so much more. You know what I mean? So I don't think that, it gets more recession proof and or bulletproof than that. But now that we talking about ceilings, let's transfer that into like the romance part of things, because I feel like a lot of us cap ourselves not even knowing that we kind of like put those ceilings on our love life.
Yes, we do, and we don't recognize it, and it's a lack of self-awareness, and the habits and the trends that we're following, and honestly. It's about us ladies. We hear it the most when we're talking about the baby boomers and the market and the trends and aging. There's been a shift in the average life experience of a woman. Yes. Not life expectancy, life experience.
Yes.
Meaning, in the past few generations, more and more women work outside of the home. In fact, shout out to Sierra Nicole, because she was posting about how while everybody else is arguing about 50-50, her husband was grinding 12 hours a day to make sure that she could be a stay-at-home mom while she built the business. And the ladies attacked her. It's going on right now, actually, right now. People are on Facebook making memes about her and all this and that. And I was shocked because I'm like, we have a problem with stay-at-home moms now? That's the issue? So there's really no ceiling for women, right? We don't have to choose one or the other, but there's also not one that needs to be shamed over the other. To your point, you said, hey, I don't shame people who have a 9 to 5. Often you can take the income from that 9 to 5 and fund your dreams and then get there, right? However, with women, it's like, she's staying home. Well, I hope he does her right, or she's putting all her faith in him and da-da-da-da-da. And what about her opportunities? There's no ceiling for women, whether they stay at home. There's also no ceiling for women who are in corporate. However, what the argument that we're seeing being had on a lot of these podcasts, and is more toxic than helpful, and I really want us to continue to be different than that, is understanding that there's a pivot. Earlier, we talked about pause, pivot, propel.
Right.
There's a pivot that your average working woman would need to make in order to still have a smooth home life.
Yes.
right? Because when we're talking about ceilings, women often feel the pain and the burden of ceilings in the workplace. And so there's a demeanor, there's a assertiveness, there are skills and there are character traits that have to be built up in that woman for her to be more competitive, right? Even as it relates to salary, women still earn less, period. Across the board. Women also ask for less. So when you have that high earning woman, that easily promoting woman, she's had to build the skill to request what she requires for her lifestyle, to come to the table, to not be cut off during board meetings, to require people to respect her, to not just be called girl and go get a sandwich. She's had to build that up. But then in the home and in the relationships, that same demeanor, that won't work too well. Because if you have the average man that's working to lead his home, he's not really wanting to argue in the home. He's wanting peace. And she wants peace too. But what we're seeing in our ladies is that they're unknowingly bringing that same energy that works so well for them in their careers to their home life, and it's causing major, major conflict and confusion. And what we hear is the misrepresentation of masculine and feminine energy. Is just, well, she's too masculine. She's too masculine. People take a phrase and they just keep using it. It doesn't necessarily align so squarely with that, but I understand what they're saying. Her energy isn't coming off as nurturing and welcoming and loving. Her energy is coming off more competitive. And so when we're talking about no ceilings, we're seeing couples or just people who are dating, they're feeling like there's a ceiling because they aren't able to come together and really do more. They're fighting with one another. They're fighting with one another.
And in addition to that, when we're talking about what it looks like to be an entrepreneur, what it looks like to be a boss in your workplace, and then what that transition looks like in your home, it's not a all or nothing, throw everything away. It is using the skills that you already have, to Erick's, point, and using those skills to figure out how and where to apply them. Meaning, if I am strategic in my field and I know that I have a strategy that works, okay, take that same mindset and transfer that to, I know I need a strategy in my home. It won't be the same strategy, but the skills that I have built to know what type of strategy I need and how to build that strategy can go ahead. I can transfer that thing, that mindset from this workplace to my home life. It won't be the same way, but the mindset of the strategies that I need a strategy, that there is a strategy required for this to be successful. That is where we are still learning, ladies. I'm giving us some support. That's where we're still learning how to commingle those things or intermingle those things, so that it's not just we forget and toss out everything that we know. It's we're using the skills that we have learned over the years so that we can be successful in both areas.
And let me come back.
I do got a question though, real quick before we go too far. So I understand what you're saying. There are though there's a large group of women who desire the same corporate success that most men have been granted over time, right? And so, how do you convey this message to that person who seeks to have equal opportunity in the workplace, that doesn't quite view the home maker on the same level because they prioritize career more.
And that's where I'm going. So in a prior episode that we did a while ago, I was speaking from what my perspective was in a season. And I was like, I had to do this and I had to do that and I required this and I wasn't in my choose to lane, right? I was like, this is what I felt like I had to do, and then I did it, right? And then I didn't care for the demeanor and the experience that I was having in my life because it felt like I was always stressed, right? So when a woman figures out for herself what she really wants her life experience to be like, there's no judgment or there's no right or wrong. Okay. This is really important to me because I was killing it in the office. Like, I was that person. I was a deputy director. I was in federal service for years. Like, I was right there neck and neck. And so I understand that transition that deserves to be made if you want the home life and the children and you don't want to continue to be in that space.
Right.
So let's be clear. I prefer, as I told you before, to be in the shade sipping lemonade, right? But I didn't have a strategy for my lifestyle to do that without working in the office before I was married.
Yeah.
So real quick, because we 8 episodes down, the strategy.
Yes.
Remember that we have to let them know that they have to think about the end goal first, then strategy.
Yes.
Not strategy to the end goal.
Right.
Yes.
Begin with the end in mind.
I just wanted them to have the context of what you're speaking
Absolutely.
of.
Absolutely. So when I was single and working and my career was my baby, right? You darn right. I'm working just as hard as the man next to me. I want to be compensated equally. I want to be respected equally because I'm putting in equal effort. Don't pay him more just because he's a man.
So you mean to tell me that you'll get your hair done, your nails done, and your makeup done, but then you won't do anything to help you?
Girl, that math ain't matching.
No. So when is it going to be the time that we stop working on the outer things and start figuring out the inner things?
Girl, I think the time is now. And so for you, I'd encourage you to strut over, slide over, get on through, getandstaymarried.com. Because what we have for you is not just this great conversation like we're having today.
Yes.
But it's an entire community to help you know and love yourself, but focus on what we put in and what we put on. So all our clients have a personal stylist, a year with a finance coach, a flexibility coach, a sex educator, because a lot of people having sex,
but they not good at it.
Oh, don't let that be you. So go ahead, sis, slide on through, getandstaymarried.com. But for now, back to the show. I deserve.
Is that right by an employer? I can't pay a woman less than the man if they're in the same position.
Legally, but you can come up with a whole lot of jargon to justify it. And that's what's
understood.
Happening.
Okay.
So, however, just to get to your point.
I was just saying,
right?
Eric.
At a point, I knew I wanted a family.
Okay.
Right.
I wanted to be home with my kids when they were young. I didn't want to have to put them in daycare, but I thought that that's what I would have to do if I were going to keep doing this in my career. So what we're saying is, in an earlier episode, we talked about wealth. Wealth not just being money, but about being choice.
Right.
Options.
So the wealth for us, some people would still call us wealthy, and that's fine. But our definition of wealth was having the ability to choose. I could choose to go home.
Yeah.
I chose to come home and homeschool our sons. Right? That was a choice. And the systems, the program management that I could kill it in business applied well at home because, hey, it takes a system to keep that kitchen stocked.
Jesus.
It takes a system to make sure we're not running out of peanut butter, but we have jelly. It takes a system to make sure we have the Ziploc bags that we need and we have the water that we need. We have the Crystal Light. Somebody has to keep up with that. It takes a system to make sure that the clothes that I want for our kids to wear in the photo shoot are going to be clean and pressed in time. So it takes a system to make sure that the home is clean. It takes a system to make sure that the air freshener is still there. So it's no less valuable because I'm doing it from my home just because a man's not paying me.
That's right.
Because the wealth is in the choice. The wealth is in taking that same skill set that I had to keep things running smoothly to the left for a corporate structure and putting that to my home because we realize that on some level, our family is a business.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? And so the investment that I make in my marriage and the investment that I make in my children is just as valuable as the salary that someone's going to pay me.
That's the word.
But we don't want to think about it like that.
Hold on real quick. I just wanted to let y'all know that is the title of the podcast.
What is it?
We could keep going.
What's the title?
The family is the business.
Oh, the family is the business. That's a bar.
But the word is valuable.
Yes.
When we hear the word valuable, we automatically associate it with money, right? But in the reality of things, if somebody came to you and said, hey, I have 4 days to live, you're going to be like, oh, I'm not going to work for 4 days because I need to spend as much time with you as I possibly can because spending time with you is more valuable to me than going to work. Right. And we won't think about that because society and all of the things and all of the voices that have made have presented to us that we require money to get everything that we want that is important to us. But the things that are the most important to us, money can't fix, money can't handle.
Right.
If it's a terminal illness, money can't do nothing. I can't do nothing with that.
Right.
So the things that are valuable to us, especially when it pertains to our household, especially when it pertains to our family, it's an investment. Like we continue to invest. We continue to invest. We continue to invest, not because it's something I have to do or something that I signed up for. I see this thing as valuable. I see my relationship with my children as valuable. I see when I walk into my home and things are put in a manner where it is, it's functional, right? A functional house. That's valuable to me. Why? Because now my mind is not cluttered with all the things that need to go on here that can't go on here because it's not a functionable household. It gives me peace is valuable.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so the opportunity that we help women with is saying you don't necessarily have to choose career or over family. If you want to, that's fine. We can help you with that. But if you want to have both, the real flex is understanding how to apply the transferable skills that benefited you in the corporate lane, and how do you apply that to your household. You don't have to do everything yourself. You can outsource it, but someone still has to be overseeing this whole project, this business, to make sure that it's flowing. And it's not degrading for you to do that. And if you choose to, as I did, step away from your career and really focus on home, that's okay too.
Yes.
Understanding that there is no ceiling. There is no wrong answer. It's just understanding that there's a shift in you that has to happen if you're going to try and have both. To try and have this super, super demanding career while you're busting out kids, it sounds good on paper, but it actually isn't going to manifest well in reality.
Do you feel that a lot of people coming into your program are aware of their lack of balance there, or their lack of like understanding of that concept?
Absolutely not. Coming into our experience, in the comments, anywhere, I see it everywhere. I mean, I'm like, Lord, help us all. Like I pray all day. I'm telling you, because, and I lived it. So that's why I see it so well. I see them, and there's a fear. Most of what we have challenges with, it all boils down to fear. There's a fear that if I don't make this much money, if I don't promote, then I can't take care of myself, and I can't just depend on no man, because men will leave you. And then what am I gonna have? Because we do have women for generations who were in the home, and then whatever reason the marriage didn't work out, and they were left destitute with these children. So I get it.
So I know men that make a lot of money, more than me, and you know, I'm small things to giants.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry to interrupt. But that right there is a problem, right? Because you have this whole message that what you making, there can't be a whole lot of men making more than you. That's impossible.
I'm not saying that, but I understand how that could be articulated. I'm just saying dudes that do very, very well for themselves monetarily.
Yeah, but I'm getting to something. I'm breaking down walls right here. So what you're saying is you are not just surrounded by men who are struggling financially. It's actually a few that you know that are doing very well, right?
Definitely.
There's no shortage of financially stable men. I just want to put that out there. There's no shortage. He said a few that were doing better than him.
That I'm around, right? Like my circle.
He's around. He didn't just hear about him. He's around him. So please don't allow yourself to digest and poop out this lie that there's not a lot of men out here who are doing financially well, because they are. They are. Here today, we identified that they are. So don't allow the fear of being with someone who's not financially stable to rob you of your opportunity. Also,
and Eric, I'm just going. I'm sorry. I got to plug. And Eric, this is what I also understand. If you're saying that the men around you are doing significantly, or not significantly well, better, but they are doing well, right? I'm going to just take a leap of faith and say they're not hanging around bums themselves. Because you are in their presence, that means that you are doing well yourself.
I appreciate it.
So I want to make sure that we just...
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
mine.
No.
Thank you.
Go
Our
ahead.
apologies for the interruption.
All right. Hey, I see how you said apologies versus I'm sorry.
That's right.
I just had to make sure. I'm listening. All right. So, I know guys who've had multiple kids, let's say 3 or 4. I'm not speaking about one in specific.
Right.
And they they start having issues typically around when the kids are like 10 or getting early teens with the mom or his wife still being an at-home wife and the kids is gone from 7 to 4.
Right.
Some of them have just implied that like, man, I would love for her to invest and start doing things for herself, her career. And you know, when that time comes, I just sit back and listen. I've not experienced that.
Yeah.
But I could reason with that as an outsider.
Yeah.
In the sense of, what do you do with your whole day? I do understand what you're saying about, hey, I gotta take care of the house. I gotta clean it. I'm a different type of guy. I got a cleaner. I got a nanny.
Yeah.
And so to help with those
Hold
things.
up, now we do too. Now don't flex.
Yeah. I wasn't saying that you didn't. I wasn't implying that.
I don't want my husband to watch this and be like, you let him out there think I got you cleaning the house. Like, I can't do that.
Understood. So I say that to say though, I could understand his frustration in that situation because it's like, okay, like we live in a era that's totally different in the 90s.
Yeah.
2 incomes sometimes is necessary depending on where you are in life and all your liabilities.
That's right.
So what do you say to if you were having a conversation and you heard a man vent like that?
Yeah.
I'm not giving you the full scope because I'm not here to put my people's information out like that. But I think that's a legitimate frustration based on hearing one side.
Yes. And this is where we have the guys in the comments often say that when we're offering things, we're speaking from the perspective of a woman, and that's not how men work. Right?
So I'm giving a different side here today, then. That's cool.
And so what I would say is I'm not surprised because by and large, that's how y'all work. Y'all are looking at the bottom line, the numbers, right? So the salary, the income. So ordinarily, a male perspective of wealth is about money. It's about the amount of cash, right? Whether it's liquid or not, it's the numbers. It's easier for a woman to accept the perception of wealth being more than just money than it is for a man, because it takes money to make things happen. And there's so much of an acceptance of a male value being linked to how much you earn and how much you have, right? Is it healthy? No, but we're going to speak to what we understand to be the overarching perspective, right? So I'm not surprised at all about this. What we would have to do is speak to the wife and ask her, hey, what's your day like? A quick way to run it down is to run down everything she does in the home and then calculate how much it costs to outsource it, to help that man understand that she's home and she's doing it. And you may not be equating her bringing in money, but she's stopping an outflow of money that would be required if she were to divert her attention from the home, right?
Got you.
So if she's ironing clothes, if she's cleaning, if she's vacuuming, if she's planning trips, if she's packing lunches, if she's planning vacations, if she's planning family photo shoots, if she's coordinating holiday travel, like all of that costs. And the moment she gives her energy outside of the home to someone else, that starts falling off. It could also be, is she planning to seduce him tonight? Did she order the rose petals? Did she get the massage oil? Is she going to the gym so she can still flip it and twerk it and reverse it like she used to?
I like that part.
Like all of that. I'm serious, but it takes time.
Yes.
And it takes energy. I'm going to be very transparent with you.
I'm okay sacrificing some of that if she go to the gym. I just want to put my 2 cents in.
But I'm just going to be a very transparent moment, because we all family here. That's been a bit of the challenge for me, right? I had 2 kids, ended up having to have 2 emergency C-sections, even though I was scheduled for water births. So that's all the way on the other end of the spectrum, right? And it had a greater impact on me than I ever anticipated. In the midst of all that, lost my mother-in-law at the same time, lost my favorite uncle at the same time. My husband lost his, like we had a lot at the same damn time. Like it was a lot, right? And so if you knew me before, you knew I've always been a size 6. I've always been, like this is me. So now we're trying to juggle all of this. I'm not putting as much energy into my appearance. I'm not putting as much energy into buying new clothes or even getting new looks and all that, because we just trying to make it right now. Yeah. Right. And that's an impact. That's see fair. It once the results, but now it feels like it's too far in. But it's, well, are you making? If you're the type of guy who wants your woman to look a certain way, it takes time and energy
no
to
doubt.
maintain that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it just presents as though, well, she's not doing anything between 7 and 3, and she could be earning money. And that's going to cost you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't think people are understanding.
That's a great perspective.
It's going to cost you. And when you get your when you get your woman whose first focus is not home, it impacts the family, period.
Gotcha.
I don't care what you say. It impacts the children. When her first focus is not home, not on taking care of their doctor's appointments, taking care of their spiritual growth, taking care of their academics, because if you rely on the public school system, God bless you, taking care of their emotional wellness, then you get these kids who grow up but aren't raised.
Yeah.
And then what do we have? Right? So there's a whole other element of conversation, but I'm not surprised that that's not the first thing that presents to your man's.
No, I get it.
And
but when you said, hey, like a lot of men think like this, and you gave I don't take it personal being included in that.
Right.
Just because it is what it is, right? You know, and it is fair. It's a fair assessment. It's your opinion. I gave you mine so I can get yours.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, and we said this in a previous episode, a conversation can clear up so many different things.
Absolutely.
And when we are ready to be vulnerable, open, transparent with what it is I'm thinking in my head or what it is I'm feeling, when you bring that to the table with your partner, all they have is an answer for you. And if you're looking for a resolve, then a conversation is the remedy. If the resolve is not what's on the forefront of your mind, and you've already kind of made up what you want the end to look like without the input of the other person, there is going to be some underlying issues even trying to get into the conversation, because it's not, we're here to have a conversation about what next steps looks like. It's, I'm bringing you what the decree is going to be.
Got you. And lots of times
that's what it is.
Yeah. No doubt.
That's a whole nother episode.
Woo!
Yes.
All right. That's the good information right there. I hope y'all soak that in. I think that I understand both sides. The compromise and the navigating it, that it is a conversation. How that goes, you gotta stay tapped in and check it out. You know what I mean? So check this out. Make sure you tell a friend, man. Just like, subscribe, comment.
Yes.
Come check us out, man. We got some dope heat coming up next week. So, but before we go, if they need to find you guys, they're looking to enhance their love life and their marriage, where can they find you at?
You can always find us at getandstaymarried.com
or the Marriage Makeover on IG.
Those links will be below the video, man. Tap in. See y'all next week. Peace.